Hose water. Tastes like vinyl. Piece of foam. Oh yeah, that's right. I dropped a mud bag in there. What is this in here? I feel it's the bottom. Stuck to the bottom. This is model pottery clay. Actually, super thick and creamy. Tastes like chocolate and vanilla mixed together. Tastes horrible, but good. Oh, that's adorable. Hermes Trismegistus necklace. There's no greater spiritual pursuit than to seek to know the things that truly are. And there's my luminary crystal. Let's see where to go. Which was, it's a beautiful crystal. Really, it doesn't know justice like that. But, I mean, it's not, Anyway, it's got three nice natural 3-cut faces on it. At the point that are nice and clear like an eyeball. And I chipped them trying to wrap it too tightly in copper wire, and that sucked. I was mad, but I knew I should have stopped messing with it a while before, and I just kept let's keep it PG-13 here. Okay, that's spooky. It's hot, definitely. How to do the old scoop and cup to get down in the water. You guys know what I mean. Scoop and cup. Cup and scoop. Scoop and cup. do the, what is it, a lacrosse racket? No, it's not, what is that? I don't know. The polo scoop. Polo racket. Whew. This feels really good on my feet. And this is like piping hot, but I can totally feel it, man. It's coming on. Oh man, I'm tripping balls. Tripping on my balls. Jeez. I had that Michael Franti and song stuck in my head the other day, like all day. So it's a crime to be broke in America, and it's a crime. Just that one part of the song, over and over. But it was alright. Those were songs to have stuck in your head. I mean, that's a good song, actually. That's why I got stuck in my head. But, well, they got me. I'm fading out, Doc. Help me. I'll save a place for me at the pearly gates. 4th of July is the stupidest fucking holiday ever. Next to Halloween. No. So it's kind of ridiculous how just it boggles my mind thinking about the Christians, and my whole family is Christian, and some of them are, rather devout Christians. So clearly I can't have any conversations about philosophical or spiritual beliefs of other lands or times, or I mean, my biggest number one issue with the concept of God having a name, for one. We're on the earth, and if there's names, they're here on the earth. They were made up here on the earth. So how are we going to give God a name? Come on, get real. The Tao that can be named is not the true Tao, or not the real Tao. Tao. Sorry. I don't know why they use a T and call it a D, but the true Tao is not the true Tao if you put a name on it. And none of us can put a name on God. Come on. That's ridiculous. Oh, but so the notion that a loving, caring God who understood his creation and the nature of his creation, the people and the way they behave, he would know that, showing his true self to one small group of people at one period of time, and then being gone for long generations again, that would be a recipe for disaster. I mean, any intelligent thing would know that. Like, hey, I'm going to show myself to these one people, and they're going to go out and tell everybody, and nobody's going to believe him. I mean, I guess he wasn't thinking that far ahead or something, right? I think God's a little smarter than that, personally. Whatever it is, probably is hermaphrodite. Some sort of hermaphroditic octopus that lives in the Marianas Trench. Like straight out of, what's his name? Cthulhu guy. I can't remember. L. Ron Hubbard? No, that's not him. I'm Ron L, but that's weird, L. Ron. I'm not Ron L like the Ron L's from the 60s, the girl band. I'm just Ron L. I'm RML, actually. Which is a little goofy because those are, I guess, significant letters in directions, as in right, middle, left. RML. And I'm going to go into a screensaver. Maybe I shouldn't worry about that. It's still recording, I bet. The program should override it, but maybe not. Anyway, I was rambling about myself in a self-deluded fashion talking about my name. What's my motherfucking name? RML, right, middle, left. Read my lips. Real men lie. Radiate much love. Remake my law. The truly wise, knowing the relative unnature of reality, use law against laws, and thereby transmutate that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Got to do a remake on that and do a better job, I think. Chase's voice and timing is perfect for some sort of song. I just got to do a better job. If you see this, Chase, good timing, good form. And his channel's growing big too. I remember when I first subscribed, a few hundred, maybe 400 or 500. I mean, probably what I got now. It took me 12 years to get it. This channel's 2,000, I think, last I looked. Just in a few months, so it's booming. With the good content, I think people like the rambling. If you're gonna expound upon, what's said a little bit to try and get a better understanding of it, and actually paying attention and grasp the subject, and it's great. Actually, that helps a lot. Gives you an angle to think about some of these concepts that you haven't, that you wouldn't think of naturally on your own. Sometimes it's just nice to have a contrasting point of view on it to verify or not your own interpretations. Thank you. Oh, this is hotter than shit. I'm sweating already. It's like a sauna. In a hot tub full of mud, grounded to the earth. Oh yeah, so finish my point on why the mud tub is awesome. Besides the fact that it's absolutely taking away every concern in the world right now. Hopefully it doesn't get me to the point I have to stop making the video because I just don't care. It happens though. Oh man, you know what? I'm just turn off. When you earth ground, when most people earth ground, they go on the grass or even sometimes moist dirt, preferably away from big buildings and power lines and power structures. And they'll sit on the grass and basically, or on the ground, and their hands and their feet may be touching the earth, and that's their grounding, hands and feet. However, when you're swimming, you're grounding all over, but not quite to the degree that you would be in the mud tub, because all the dirt and the minerals makes it much more conductive electrically. And I believe the nature of one of the things that's assailing us as a species, that's being the people. I think Matt's right, not to use the word human. I don't even know what that means. But the peephole, you get a peephole, look through a peephole, and people. Those are some weird words. Why did they use that word to describe, us? So where was I? Besides being sunk into the mud of don't care. Calgon, take me away. I'm gonna name my tub Calgon because it takes you away. I wanted to make a hot rod out of my other tub. have the steering wheel come up through where the overflow is in the tub. The overflow cover. Steering wheel come up through there, T-bucket style. One seat in the middle and the back in the tub. The tub is, your safety zone. So it's cast iron. And then have the legs on it are looking as if they're on it, and it's supported by the legs on the frame, but it'd be lagged to it for sure. And then put like a small aluminum V8 in front or something, and an IRS from an 80 to an 83 Celica, I think would be good. Along those lines, or a Supra differential with the IRS suspension. Put that for the rear, under the frame. And then the front would just be a regular old school hot rod Pinto Mustang 2 rack and pinion. And that would go to, I think I'd want coil springs still, actually. Yeah, some low slung springs. Whew, this is hot. So the bathtub in the middle is where you sit, and then the engine would be right in front of the bathtub, exposed, of course, with like chrome headers and pipes sticking out the sides and shit. Big fatty tires. Yeah. I'd have a shower curtain top that would go up and cover it for rains. It's not looking like a shower curtain. Fasten your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye. See when it's that. Cipher. To be deciphered. The trick is to decipher the cipher. Frequently check the frequencies like Rifer. Whoa. Okay. Sorry, heat stroke. Heat stroke imminent. So people ground and they stand on the ground or put their hands, or they're sitting on the ground. And if they're wearing shorts, maybe their leg. And that's generally the extent of grounding. But the toxins that are messing this up aren't just on your hands and your feet, although they are concentrated there and probably nearly, the highest amounts. That's what the calluses are and the fake skin and the swelling underneath and the lymph nodes, because they're not letting the stuff out. I noticed myself not sweating like I used to as much before I got in and figured out all this Morgellons shit and all that. This was like 2015. But I noticed I didn't sweat as much, and then I started to notice like sinuses being dry, but that was chemtrail, I'm sure. I can just go straight to that. But okay, so I started thinking like, well, if the same, amount of sweat should be building up, or the same amount of, toxins in my body that would normally be sweating out. If that hadn't changed, the toxin level, then the fact that I wasn't sweating really, like I remember that I used to, not that I sweated profusely, but I knew how much I would work. I didn't sweat, never sweated that easily. Working, I would be like in the hot weather usually. Anyway, started thinking, well, where is that toxic shit going? If it's not leaving me, you know, I can't be peeing it all out. And, yeah, and, you know, and then I got sicker, and I started to notice my bulging lymphatic vein systems and my lymphatic capillaries just throbbing away at my wrists, my elbows, on the inside, under my arms, on my neck, down somewhere inside near my sternum, and my spine, and my hips, and my knees, and my ankles, and my toes. You know, bump, 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 and it was impressing its speed and frequency onto my heart, and it, even if I just and sat down and relaxed as much as I could and tried to it and relax everything, clear my mind, and let my heartbeat come down. It doesn't do it. It's being remotely influenced and triggered up to that rate. Not coincidentally, it's when my ears start to ring and I get the pains in my forehead like I'm getting right now, and generally an airplane flies over within a minute or two, particularly low and nearby. I wonder if it'll happen this time. Put some mud on my spine where I broke my neck. That seems to be a place where this stuff's concentrated to, wherever there's an injury, especially like involving cartilage or whatever, and void areas where there's not muscle or open area. Mud. Look like Peter Gabriel. Everybody's just one bad day away. One bad day. What was his name? Harvey Dent. I don't watch any of those kind of movies, but I hear about clips from them and stuff. The last movie, I mean, it's probably about the only one I've ever saw of like superhero movies since Superman back in the 80s was with my son Alex. He took me to see Deadpool, the first one. And there's some creepy themes in that movie. It's like, you know, that some of this shit's real, and like, ugh. Now I'm white. I'm not sure. I usually just let this all dry on me like this, all white. Let me back here. Put this on my head where I burn at. There's a swollenness area on my right on my skull, and it's more on the left side than the right. It's got a distinct edge to it that I can feel, but it's hard to see because the difference is like I'm talking 200ths of a millimeter, maybe. I mean, just a little bit, but I feel it. I can feel the edge. I can trace it. And everything in this area is a little bit swollen up more. I can kind of see it if I look closely. Kind of like the outlined by the line that, moved up across and is on my forehead now, currently. It doesn't like the mud. It seems to take the oomph right out of it, which is good. Because you're not dealing with normal sickness, I'm trying to press that on my mom and she just doesn't get it. And she refuses to. People aren't dealing with the run-of-the-mill disorders and stuff that there were long ago. I probably can't see me now, but that's okay. They weren't having the nanoparticles. They weren't having the poisoned food supply to the same degree, or there was still fresh water available in many places. I grew up mostly with wells. Maybe that's why my brain still works. I don't know. But then again, in the way the world is, I almost can see why some people try and just kill their brain cells out so that they don't have to think anymore. But that's stupid. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna eat in such a manner that it's gonna ensure that I feel like shit every day. You know, it's pretty obvious you have to have some decent food in order to have energy that's real, not just, you know, sugar highs and dope or something, right? It's ridiculous. And like back in the day, even those faces of meth things, those people, it wasn't so much the meth, it was that those people were incredibly stupid. I mean, incredibly stupid. And that's why they end up like that. It's like, oh, I don't have to eat food anymore. I'll just drink Budweiser for my calories and chain smoke cigarettes for 20 days at a time. That's brilliant, dude. Brilliant. You're smart. Keep that up. That's where those people come from. They're retards. Well, they're not retards. They shouldn't be retards. Maybe some of them are retards. I don't know. Can we just use that word a whole lot and take the stigma out of it? And we'll have, you know, mentally handicapped rap groups. What's up, more retard? What's up, retard? You know, and then they rap really slow, probably, and not rhyme, but that's alright, as long as they're trying. Whew. Alrighty. Okay, you know, cool. It's making my nose run, so that's some good shit. I wasn't joking. Yeah, this thing slaps. The first mud baths I took, I've said this before too, but I just might as well say it whenever I'm taking one. I remember that I heated the tub, it was super hot. I got in, I stayed in there for like 6 hours probably, because it was the first time I felt comfortable and relaxed. I fell asleep in there for a while, in my clawfoot tub at dad's shop. And I went back in the house after I got up, and I slept a good long time, like 10 hours or something. The next day when I woke up, I felt better. I could tell. I didn't wake up to, you know, the airplane being the thing that woke me up with my ears ringing, shrill and loud, and a throbbing headache. I woke up in like with a mild headache, and the airplane hadn't quite got there yet. That was an improvement. I could tell. So I just put off whatever I was going to do that day, and I went down and I put on the heaters and I heated the mud up again. And I had about 10 gallons of dirt from the motocross track, which is pretty clay rich, mud in it, and then well water in there. Anyway, so I heated it up again. I did another mud bath. You know, same thing. I was probably in there 4 hours or something. Barely crawled out of it, and went in and crashed out again and slept really good until the next day. And again, I felt even a little bit better than the day before. And later on that day, I turned the tub on and I went and did some stuff, and later on when I got back, I got in the tub again for a couple hours. And then I went in and went to bed. And then it was about a week that I was off doing stuff because I could. And honestly, I felt like I was cured by comparison. And so about a week goes by, and the tub's just been sitting with mud in it in the garage of the shop. And I go into the shop, and I took the cover off of the tub that I had over it, like a blanket cover, and it just keep bugs or whatever. And there was like some grass straw, like it looked like grass, like hay, strands of hay that was not in the water. I don't know where it came from, like something that, somehow it grew there. I really don't know. That's strange. That's a whole other thing. I better not get sidetracked on it. But the other thing that was really freaking weird, I was going to take another mud bath, is there was a purple tinted oil slick. It looked like, kind of a dark lavender color, but translucent. And it was, forming an oblong shape right in the middle of the tub. And it was bowed up off the surface like a good 1/16 of an inch probably in the center. So you could see that it had a little bit of a bow curvature going down to where it was floating on the surface of the water. And the water was cold, and it was all coagulated up into one thing. And so I turned on the burners, and as the water started to heat up, the oil blob broke into pieces, and the pieces kind of started to orbit around each other on the surface. And it kind of creeped me out because they started to move in like patterns, like they were alive somehow, like it was just a sentient liquid. And I knew whatever it was had come out of my skin because the mud was clean, the water was clean, it was heated up, and the first couple of times, there was nothing, no oily looking anything on it, no foaminess, no nothing. It was just hot water and dirt and mud. And after soaking in it 3 times at really high temperatures, it had this purple translucent oil slick on the surface, and I felt 1,000 times better than I had for at least a couple of years. Although I was living out at Dan's property still, with all the stuff from my shop and a double wide trailer. That he was kind enough to let me keep it in and stay out there. So I stayed on his boat at first at the Flight of Moorage. Ended up I was there for like 6 months probably. That was kind of cool in some ways. Anyway, yeah. Oil slick on the surface of what come out of the skin. And our skin is not a sealed thing. I mean, it's porous. Things can osmosis back and forth through your skin easily, which is bad for how we can be have toxic things impressed upon us by the evil powers that be. But on the same hand, if we understand that some of just the basics of chemistry, of solutions, of dissolving things and carriers, like water being a carrier, you can take distilled water and you can dissolve things in it, dissolve salt to the saturation point or whatever. Here, we're still looking. Hey, I'm back. And you get to the saturation point eventually, and it just won't absorb anymore, but it'll remain liquid, and it will start to solidify after that. Or I can feel the little lumps on my head. Like I rub my fingers across my head, and all these 20, 30 little tiny grain of sand bumps are under my skin. Some of them, the grain of sand popped out and just kind of wiped away. I just did it right here too. The mud draws these things out. When I was really sick, it felt like these grains of sand were working their way up my chest and up my neck and burning the entire way. And that's when my ear was bleeding, and I had all this pain and issues with my sinuses and up the sides of my head. It was ridiculous. Morgellons shit. when I see people that I saw a guy in the store the other day, or no, he was walking towards the store as I was leaving. You could tell he was homeless, and he was probably in his 30s, and he looked like he'd gotten a fight or something, but because his eye was all swollen up, but it wasn't the right, look for a fight. It wasn't black eye, it was swollen from the Morgellons shit that was like all through his whole eyebrow. That looked like it had to have been like 5 times as bad as I was having it back when I was like, ready to, something had to change, or I'm calling it, calling the game, because it's bullshit, right? I can't even function enough to find clothes and make my food stamp appointment. I mean, come the fuck on. But anyway, yeah, I could tell it was that, and I just felt so bad for him, because I know what that feels like. And to see it at that degree, his ears had to have been ringing like mad continuously, like with a pounding fucking migraine headache with every heartbeat. Headache, just punching me all day long with every beat. It's fucking bullshit. Thanks, Uncle Sam, you're super cool. Don't forget to vote. Tax dollars hard at work. Poisoning everyone and lying to them about everything, and come on down to Dr. So-and-so and we'll get you fixed up with some pills. Yeah. I make my own medicine out of natural things, or unnatural things. There are no unnatural things. There are concentrates and derivatives of natural things. But everything that is here is from something that was here and exists here. They're not necessarily everywhere. I should just stop rambling. I'm just trying to have something to say. Maybe it'll be like when somebody's telling a story, like drunk stories or whatever, drunk history, and as they get drunker, it gets more and more, animated or goofy or messed up, or there you can see they're clearly having issues. It'd be like that, because this heat is freaking doing me in. You gotta tough it out. You gotta go the extra mile if you want to get better. You can't just do the bare minimum, and you can't just do what you heard about. You gotta actively seek out your own discoveries of ways to treat your illness. Things that you understand that make sense. The methyl alcohol heat thing, it makes sense to me because I've worked with it enough before to know the nature of it, and I'm not drinking it, I'm not keeping it concentrated on my skin for a long period of time. It evaporates quickly. I squeegee it off in a lot of cases rather quickly. It evaporates in less than 30 seconds. So it's not soaking into my skin and toxifying my liver like some people would claim. Some of it always, anything that touches you gets some of it in you. Remember that. But, anyway. It helps a lot, and I understand the nature of it, and I understand why it works. And nanoparticles are crystal metals, and we're breathing them, so our body's filled with them, and it's trying to excrete them through our skin, and that's what's causing all these skin and hair problems, along with the headaches and the migraines, or the migraine headaches, or whatever, and the ringing in the ears, and the weakness and fatigue, and the vertigo, and the anxiety, and paranoia, and the bug feeling crawling in your skin. That's all. Always just happens to be at the lymph node areas, of course. That's what the bug feeling is. And if you put that in, like feeling like bugs in your lymph glands and not just under your skin, and you'll get lymph cancer. It will come up in your Google search. You'll say, oh, lymphoma. Yeah, you got it. So, Morgellons is lymphoma. It's all one. All is one. But not that stupid Walter Russell, the universal one. He's a plant. They're trying to credit him with Victor Schomburg's discovery. It's kind of lame. And they're trying to turn the Hindus into believing in it. solar system. They're going to probably change the Hindu and the Vedic astrology into a globe, because they all do globes anyway. If you go online and name their tarot readers, all the tarot readers are globes. And like, I want to comment on every one, but there's tens of thousands of them. Like, hey, you do realize that when this was first mapped out and discovered and hammered out, the tarot reading, everyone believed the earth was flat and making motions above your head, not that it's moving around each other in 3D space. They don't even know that. I think it's always been the planetary ideology. Yeah, they planned it on the planet. Planet. You know, when it's so hot that the water's straight cold coming out, and it doesn't even make your system shock or jump at all. You're just like, oh yeah, shit. How long has it been now? 40 minutes. 42. The last one I stopped at 31. It's getting in. I've been in there for 42 minutes now. Shit. I turned the hose off. I immediately want it back on. Maybe I should have just done this now. Kind of running out of things to talk about, just because of the heat doing. I didn't do, be in real time without the screen and try and let the autumn balance my chi, so to speak. Alright guys, thanks, bye bye. Don't stop this thing, bye bye. Water.